Just going to give it a few more minutes, everyone, just to make sure, because we can't be interrupted on this session because of the formula. So just need to make sure everyone's online.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Just a quick mic test. If you guys can hear me, please type a message just confirming with a yes. Excellent. Excellent. So, welcome back, everyone, and thank you very much. You guys bring good luck all the time. I think we've just hit target. So, let me just quickly update the channel with our manual target. Let's just send that through. It's always nice to have a live target hit with you guys. 3395.01 GP hit. Let's just update that. Okay. So, it's also quite amazing to see, and I did say this to you guys before, one of the beauty about level one is a lot of the signals can happen even while Mr. Gold is sleeping. So, as you have seen today already, while I'm sleeping, we've managed to get our range breaker G-lock done. And you know, a lot of people ask me, is it always during Tokyo session that they activate? So it's seasonal. There's times of the year where you'll see a lot of action during Tokyo session. And then there's times of the year where you'll see it happen during London or New York session. So there's times where you're going to see range breaker and G-lock activate later on in the day when I'm awake, or there'll be times where it's going to happen during Tokyo session, which you have been seeing lately over the last few months, especially with all the stuff that's going on geopolitically with China and Trump. So it's nice that even when Mr. Gold isn't posting analysis or signal, the ones that have done the level one course, they're able to take some of those trades independently and really enjoy that those signals while I'm sleeping. I already know a lot of members on level one have smashed through their targets, their prop firms, and their personal accounts just by trading the Tokyo session. So, which is really, really nice. Now, with level two, you can complete the puzzle by having setups that appear throughout the day. So, just like the range breaker giving you action during Tokyo session for this season, later on during the remaining sessions, London and New York, for those who missed the Tokyo action, can still capitalize on signals and gaps and targets using the level 2 G boxes. So it sort of gives you that complete setup where if you're not on your charts every part of the day and certain times is when you're available to trade, you have the G boxes to be able to look for setups throughout the day. So there's more opportunities for trades using the G box. The way the signals are activated on the G box is either via a candle body close or with EMA5 lock. Both techniques you know, we just need to teach you how to draw the levels. And those are the two ways where you can activate and identify and then take the trades. However, the G box levels are so flexible in terms of the way they work. You'd notice one of the things that I mentioned on the list on the itinerary about make your own. What do I mean by that, make your own? What I mean by that is what I teach you, you trade with that, track the price with that, and you're done. However, over the weeks and months, as you keep drawing and using those boxes, you yourself will notice other patterns with the boxes. And you'll find certain patterns that you'll notice, hold on a sec, every time this happens to the box, I see this. Every time this happens to the box, I see this. Maybe I can trade it. So what do you do in those situations when you notice patterns? When you notice patterns, do a minimum of 6 months to 12 months backtesting. What do I mean by that? What I mean is look at the historical data and see those similar patterns, do they play out? If they do, then you've got yourself a signal that you can potentially trade. Okay, so there's lots of patterns that you'll notice over the coming weeks and months as a trader from those G boxes that you will be able to create own signals. However, initially you don't need to worry about that because initially just candle body close with EMA 5 lock, you'll be able to notice enough signals. And other very important thing to realize is the G boxes are the true way to milk signals. So you see how I always say that people can milk signals the basic way from any levels, but on level 1 I mentioned that the true way of milking is using the G boxes. And why that is because when a signal activates on the G box and then if it reverses, it automatically turns the G boxes into calibrated levels, especially when we see wick rejections, which I will show you examples of during the week. And that's when you can utilize those levels to milk those reversing signals. And we can cover that later on in the week because we need to start with the formulas and drawing the setups. So how we will run these sessions, very different to level 1 because the whole of level 2 is based around this formula. So effectively, you paid for this formula. And these lessons that we're going to do is show you how to use the formula to generate the levels and then trade them. Today's session, we're going to start with giving you the formula that you're going to write down and keep safe and protected. And please note the non-disclosure agreement that you have signed on level 1 is also valid for level 2. And therefore, the most main reason why we get the NDA signed is to protect this formula. Okay. Once we give you this formula today, we will then use this formula to draw the first set of boxes, which will be the bullish boxes, to identify buy setups. And we will do that all day today, drawing the bullish boxes to identify buy setups using the formula. And we'll also look at how we can identify the targets and signals with it. Tomorrow's session, we're going to do the same again, but this time we're going to draw bearish boxes to identify sell setups, okay, for all the sells. So today's sessions, we're going to draw bullish boxes. Tomorrow's session, we're going to do bearish boxes. And then we will look at bearish signal activation and trades. And then Wednesday's session, the last session, we will combine the bearish and bullish boxes and show you how we use them together in a typical day to trade the movement up and down for those who want to learn how to sell as well. And then we will finish up with how we use those boxes to milk trades, and then tips and tricks on using and trading prop firms. And that will complete your level 2 on Wednesday. So it's a 3-day course. No lesson on Thursday, no lesson on Friday. However, 1 week later, on a Thursday, we will do our Q&A session for the G boxes. Generally, we find, oops, somebody's just coming in very, very late. Very, very late. Bear with me. Hi, LV, you're 20 minutes late. So, I don't know if you want to join the afternoon session. LV, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, LV? You're 20 minutes late. Do you want to join the evening session? LV? Hello? Earth calling LV, do you receive? LV, do you want to unmute and talk? LV, can you hear me? Okay. We're just going to carry on. LV's not responding. Yeah, this is not the lesson to be late. Level 2, we cannot repeat ourselves. There's a serious information being delivered, and I don't want you to be late. On this occasion, we haven't started the formula, so you can stay on. But from tomorrow, guys, if anyone's late, I'm not going to be adding them halfway through the lesson. You have to be on time. I give you guys 10 minutes already. I hang around for 10 minutes for you guys to join. And this is not for me because I've got all the time in the world. I'm conscious of the fact that there's 15 people on this session that have paid a lot of money for this course, and I don't like making them wait, especially when they paid for the service. So this is nothing to do with me. You've paid me the money. I can just sit and enjoy and wait and sip my cup of tea. But I'm conscious of the fact that you guys and some of you guys are not rich and you paid a lot of money for the course, and I don't want you guys to wait around, hanging around. So no offense to you, LV, but please, guys, be conscious and respect each other. So So I was saying, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the free lessons that we're going to have. Monday, which is today, we're going to do the formula and the bullish boxes. Tuesday, we're going to do the formula with the bearish boxes, and then we'll look at the signals for buys and sells. Wednesday, we will look at the G boxes for buys and sells, but how to use them to milk reversing trades and manage trades. And then we will cover tips and tricks on how to trade prop firms. And that will complete your level 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No lesson Thursday, no lesson Friday. And then 1 week later on a Thursday, we will do the Q&A for this. Generally, we find level 2 members require the Q&A more than level 1 members, because level 2 is a bit more technical with regards to drawing boxes and levels, and therefore that 1 week break practice, you will notice many questions come up, and that's why the Q&A becomes very, very useful. So make sure everyone is available next week Thursday for the Q&A, okay? And obviously, just like level 1, I will continue to provide ongoing support for any questions you guys have during the week on Sundays. So all my level 1 and 2 members will have that ongoing support as long as you are a VIP member. I will continue to give you my time on Sunday, okay? So let me start with first sharing my screen. Okay. Stay with me. Let's get a calculator. Share. Can you guys all see my calculator and the charts? Okay. So with this lesson, we will do things slightly different because there's certain things that you need to remember. Throughout the lesson, I'll give you opportunities to take some notes down, which I will dictate, and then you will write down. And the reason why I do this is because I know exactly what notes that you need to take to trigger your memory when you look back at the notes. So that's why when I tell you to get your pen and paper ready to take some notes down, get ready, and then I will repeat those notes over and over again for 3 times. So you write that down, and then you'll notice later on in the week when you start practicing, those notes are geared to trigger your memory. So grab yourself a pen and paper or your tablets and laptops and be prepared to take notes, because we will start with the formula. So you need to write down the formula. When I give you the notes to take and you don't understand the notes, please be patient and don't ask any questions, because I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask questions later. The reason why I say this is write the notes down as I tell you, and then straight after you write the notes down and you're no longer writing the notes and you're focused on listening to me, that's when I will then explain the notes that you've just taken, and I'll show it on the chart as well. Because sometimes if you try and understand what your teacher is telling you at the same time as writing it down, you're not going to process the information. So therefore, I like to share the notes for you to write down first, and you just write it down. And once you finish writing it down, then I share the reasons why you've written the notes down and talk you through it. So then you're not typing or writing, and your brain is free to process the information. So don't panic when I give you the notes to write and you don't understand it. I will give that opportunity for you to process the information as well. Okay, so bear with me. So you've got 10 seconds to grab your pen and prepare to take some notes. So please get that all ready. Okay. So the first part of this course is all based around this formula that I'm going to give you. The formula will not make any sense, so don't worry, because I will then show you in practicality how we use that formula. For now, I just want you to type down this formula. What is this formula? First and foremost, before you type this down or write this down, this formula is what we use to generate a value. And once we generate a value, we use this value to draw levels. And that's why this formula is crucial, because every day this formula will give you a value, and then we will use that value to draw levels. And this formula gives us what we call the G value. Okay, so I want you to write down a heading, and the heading will be G value formula. G as in Mr. G, so G value formula. So write that down. So G value formula. Underneath G value formula, I want you to write down the formula, which is high minus low plus 300 divide by 2 and then round up to the nearest odd number. So don't worry, I'm going to repeat myself and I'm going to type it on the screen as well. So the G value formula is high minus low plus 300 divide by 2 round up to the nearest odd number. And bear with me. And I'm going to post that now so you got it on screen as well. So I'm going to repeat again. The formula is high minus low equals whatever the value is, and then plus 300 equals whatever the value is, and then divide by 2, round up to the nearest odd number. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how this is used. For now, I just want you to write down this formula. So if everyone has written down this formula, can you just give me a yes on the screen so I can move to the next part? Okay, Barry, I think you're sending me a direct message, so don't send me a direct message. Send a message to the entire group so I don't have to keep switching the screen, otherwise the messages will go individually, okay? Okay, brilliant. Okay, so now we've got the formula, okay? We use this formula when the market is closed. So when the market is closed, and don't worry, you don't need to write this down. I will tell you. Every time when you need to write something down, I will tell you. Otherwise, I want you to just focus on me so you can process the information. So every day when the market is closed, so there's no more moving candles, we will use this formula on that closed day's data to generate a G value that we can use on the new day. Okay? And now I'm going to show you how we do this. So let's go and get some historical data. And as always, we like to freestyle our lessons. So let's find some nice range that we can find and use some of these data. Let's zoom out. Okay, we have some nice set of dates here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now imagine this is the day that's closed. Okay, let's just measure how big this range is. Okay, so imagine this is the day that's closed. And these are the days coming forward. So when this day closes here, we need to generate a G value to use for this trading day here. And then if we want to trade this day here, we will use and generate a G value with this day's data to trade this day. And then if we wanted to trade this day here, we would generate a G value from this day to trade this day. So every day we use the previous day's G value to trade the current day. So you can write this down. So get your notes again. Every day when the market closes, so write this down. Every day when the market closes, we generate the G value to use the following day. So I repeat, every day when the market closes, we generate a G value to trade the following day. And I repeat again, every day when the market closes, we generate a G value to trade the following day. And I'll repeat one last time. Every day when the market closes, we generate a G value to trade the following day. So if this is a trading day, we need to generate a G value on this day. Okay, so let me zoom out. So this is the day that we generate the G value to trade this day. So I'm just going to get myself a little text box here, and I just write the word G value. Oops, sorry, I've tagged it. It should be here. G value. Okay. And make it nice and small. So I'll just write down G value. Once I have the value, I'll put it next to it. So remember the formula. High minus low is the first part. What do I mean by high minus low? What we mean by that is the high value of the candle for the day and the low value of the lowest candle. So the highest value of the highest candle on this day looks like this wick here. So remember on level 1, we said if you hover on the candle and you look down on this area here, this tab here where it says high will give you the high value when you hover on the candle. So if this is the highest candle, I hover on top of it and it gives me the high value of 2631.84. Can you see? 2631.84. So I get my calculator, 2631.84. I'm not going to use the decimal point when I do the calculation. Yeah. So 2631, and what was it for again? 2631.84. So 2631.84. Can you guys all see my calculator on the screen? Just double checking. Give me a yes. Excellent. Okay. So we have the high, 2631.84. So remember what I said, high minus low. So now we need the lowest value. The lowest value of this day looks like this wick here. So if I hover on this candle and I go down here on where it says low, that will give me the low value. So I hover on this candle and the low value is 2589.58. So we've got the high minus, now we need to do 2589.58. 2589.58. So we've got the high, which is 2631.84, minus the low, 2589.58, equals 4226. Then the next part was plus 300 equals 4526. The next part was divide by 2 equals 2263. And then we said round up to the nearest odd number. This is already an odd number, 3, so we don't need to round it up. If this was the 2, then we would need to round it up to the nearest odd number and make it 3. This is already a 3, so we don't need to round it up any further. If this was a 4, then again we would have to round it up to 5, because we only round up to the nearest odd number. So this is already an odd number, so nothing needed to be done. So the G value for this day is 2263. So 2263. Okay. So now that's nicely done. We have the G value for this day, which is 2263. Because we're going to do several days, I'm going to do the G value for all of them, and that will also give you and reinforce your knowledge on it as well. So let's now create the G value for this day here. So on this day here, the highest is this candle wick here. If I hover on the candle, I get the high value, 2633.28. 2633.28 minus the low, which is this one here, which is 2608.16. 2608.16 equals 2512 plus 300 equals 2812. Divide by 2 gives us 1406. And then the last part was round up to the nearest odd number. So we need to round this 6 up to the nearest odd number, which is 7. So the G value is 1407. G value 1407. Press OK. And we have our G value. I'm just going to change the color to blue because we're doing bullish boxes and I like to keep bullish boxes blue. Okay. And now let's do this day here. So same again, let's look for the highest candle. Wick is this one here. Hover on the candle and I get the value for high is 262140, which comes up on this tab on the bottom here where it says high. So hover again, 262140. 262140 minus the low, and low looks like between these two, and if I just check both, this one 261024 and this one's 261015, so this one's the lowest one. Okay, so 261015, so we've got the high 262140 minus the low, which is 261015. 261015 equals 1125 plus 300 equals 1425, divide by 2 equals 712.5, round up to the nearest odd number, it gives us 713. G value 713. Nice. And now let's do this day here. High is this one here, 263909. 263909 minus the low, which is the first candle of the day, this one here, 261504, 261504, just make sure again, low is 261504, yep, so high minus low equals this, plus 300 equals this, divide by 2, gives us this, and then we round up to the nearest odd number, which is 1353. So G value 1353. Okay. And now we can do one more. And that will give us 5 days to cover, a whole week to cover throughout the week. So this one here, highest is this one here, 263815. 263815 minus the low, which is this one here. So we got the high, which was 263815, and now we minus the low, which is 261161. 2611, someone keeps dropping out and coming back in. 261161. 261161. So high minus low gives us 2654, plus 300 gives us 2954, divide by 2 gives us 1477. Already an odd number, so no need to round up any further. 1477. G value 1477. Okay. So now I've given you examples of how to generate the G value using the formula. Before we move on to the next part, is everyone okay with how we generated the G value using the formula? Give me a yes or a question if you didn't understand it. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so the way these boxes are drawn can be quite confusing. So there's a certain way I have to teach you. And trust me, I've had many years of teaching how to draw these boxes. So the way I will deliver it is the best way to be able to get the knowledge across. Some things when I deliver will be confusing at the start, but I want you to have some faith and be patient. The minute I conclude with the information, it will help you understand it. The best way to explain this is some puzzles, you have to do them inside out, backwards to make it, to do it, and then you will have to, as you complete it, things will make sense. Okay, so it's one of those situations where you have to take some of the knowledge first before you understand it. So the way I deliver, I'm gonna cover the theory first and then the practical. So that way you can make sense of it, okay? So if it doesn't make sense, don't worry, be patient. As I progress, it will start making sense. So every day we use the previous day's G value to draw current day's box. So we will use this day's G value to draw current day's box. And on this current day's box, we can use the boxes to trade. Okay? So we will use this current day's box to trade. Now, when the new day starts, obviously you use the previous day's G value to draw the new day's boxes. However, some people may not get a chance to draw this new day. So what you can do in those situations is use the previous day's box and you move it across to the current day until you get a chance to draw the current day's box. So there's 3 ways to use these boxes. One of them is you just use the current day's box to trade the current day. Again, here as well, use the previous day's G value, but current day's box. Again, here, previous day's G value, current day's box. So all of these, here, current day's box, you'll use previous day's G value. Here, current day's box, you'll use previous day's G value. Here, current day's box, you use previous day's G value. Sure. On your notes, write down option 1. And underneath option 1, write down trade current day's box only using previous day's G value. I repeat, trade current day's boxes only using previous day's G value. And I repeat one last time, trade current day's boxes using previous day's G value. So that is option 1. Option 2, use previous day's boxes and move them across to the current day and use them. I repeat, option 2. So that's nothing to do with G value. You are just using previous day's boxes onto the current day and use them to trade. So once again, I repeat, use previous day's G boxes, move them across to the current day and use them to trade. And I repeat one last time, use previous day's G boxes and move them across to the current day and use them today instead. So you have the option 1, which was to use previous day's G value to draw and trade the current day. And then you have option 2, nothing to do with G value anymore. You just use the previous day's boxes and you move the same boxes across to the current day and you trade them instead. That's option 2. Option 3, the final And the most accurate way is use both the previous and current day's boxes combined together. So once again, option 3, the most strongest way is to use the previous day's boxes and the current day's boxes combined together. And I repeat one last time, option 3, use the previous day's boxes combined with the current day's boxes and use them together. So these are the 3 options. And like I said, I'm going to now explain in practicality so it makes sense. But first and foremost, I'm giving you the notes so it will help you trigger your memory as you progress through the week on your own. So please confirm you have all written down the notes that I've just given you with a yes on the chart. Last one again. Okay, option 3. Use the previous day's boxes and the current day's boxes combined together to trade that day. Everyone got everything now? Michael, did you get that? Excellent. Okay. So now we start with the practicality. So let's first start with the boxes for this day here. The current day's box using this previous day's G value. Okay. So I want you to first write down the following condition on your notes. Sorry guys, bear with me. So write down the following notes. Title, bullish boxes. So the title is bullish boxes. Okay. Now, under the title bullish boxes, I want you to write down bullish boxes start from the low, stack up to the top. And I repeat again, bullish boxes start from the low, stack up to the top. And then I repeat one more time, bullish boxes start from the low, stack up to the top. Did everyone write that down? And then again, underneath this, I want you to write down the following. Every time there's a new low, readjust the boxes and then stack up to the top. I repeat, every time there is a new low, readjust the boxes and stack up to the top. And then I'm going to repeat again nice and slowly. Every time there is a new low, readjust the boxes and then stack up to the top. So I'm going to repeat one last time. Every time there is a new low, readjust the boxes to the new low and stack up to the top. Did everyone get that? And trust me, don't worry about it not making sense. As I do the practical part today, it will start making sense, but these notes are going to serve you great for trigger points later. You will notice this and thank me later for it. Now, the next title I want you to put on your notes is bearish boxes. So write down the title, bearish boxes. Bearish boxes. And under that title, I want you to write down the following notes. Bearish boxes start from the high and then we stack down to the bottom. And I repeat again. Bearish boxes start from the high and then we stack down to the bottom. And I repeat again. Bearish boxes start from the high and then we stack down to the bottom. And I'm going to repeat one last time. Bearish boxes start from the high and then we stack down to the bottom. Let me know if I'm going too fast for you guys and I'll slow down, no issue, but confirm if you've written that down. Great. And then underneath that, I want you to add the following notes. If we get a new high, readjust the boxes to the new high and stack down to the bottom. So I want you to write that down again. If we get a new high, readjust the boxes to the new high and stack down to the bottom. And then I repeat again. If we get a new high, readjust the boxes to the new high and stack down to the bottom. And I will repeat one last time, unless you need me to do more. If we get a new high, readjust the boxes to the new high and stack down to the bottom. And I'll just repeat myself again, one last time. If we get a new high, readjust the boxes to the new high and stack down to the bottom. Now that's the last of these notes, so please confirm if you've got that all. Everyone got it? Give me a yes so I can move on. Excellent. Brilliant. Okay. So now, we will start with the first boxes on this day here. And we're going to use this day's G value. Okay? So now, when the market opens, the low of this day on that first hour is going to be here. So we're going to draw a set of boxes and I'm going to show you how it's done. But just imagine we draw a set of box like this. And let me just make this a see-through box. To make it a see-through box, just right-click, rectangle properties, and where it says draw object as background, if I uncheck that, then I get a see-through box like this. I'm going to show you how to draw the box in terms of using the formula. But just imagine I start on the low, like on your notes, it says start from the low and stack up to the top. But can you see when there's a new low on the following hour? Remember the next part of the notes, readjust the box to the new low. And that's what I meant by readjust to the new low, which is here now. And then stack up to the top. And now for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours, we don't need to readjust this box anymore because there's no new low. But after 12 hours, a new low has appeared. That's what we mean by readjusting again. And now for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, no new lows, so no adjustment needed. But on the 5th hour, new low has appeared. So we adjust the box again. And then again on the following hour, a new low has appeared. We adjust the box again. And then right the way to the end, no low, so therefore we don't need to adjust. So this is just an example, but I'm going to do it properly. But I'm just giving you an example of what I meant by the new low and adjusting what it does. So remember how I said to you the G boxes are the most accurate levels. And this is why. Gold turns are for the entire week. Intraday that I share on the VIP is for the day. But G box levels are so accurate that they can change by the hour with new lows. And that's why it's the most accurate form of levels. Okay. Some members can be a bit lazy in the morning when the first candle opens up, because they know that the first candle may not hold the low and very quickly they may get a new low. So some members don't draw the boxes on the first candle. They instead, what they do is wait for a couple of hours and then realize, okay, there's no new low after the second candle, and then they draw the box. So then that way they don't have to keep redrawing the boxes, because now there's 7-8 hours of no drawing needed. So it's a bit lazy, but because they don't have time to draw the box constantly every hour, they wait for a few hours and then they draw it, and that's it. But then one may ask, what if they're too busy and they can't draw any boxes every hour? Can they do anything instead? And this is where there's a part on your notes that you read. If you read, it says option 2. Use previous day's box on the current day. So if you don't have time to draw the current day's box, you can actually use the previous day's box and move them across to the current day on the previous night, and then have some boxes already here for you to use. And that's why I said option 2. And option 3 is the best. Remember, previous day's box, and I will draw current day's box. So I'll have something looking like this, a mixture of previous and current day, which gives me the most strength. Okay, so now I will actually do them so you know what I'm talking about. So let's start first with drawing the current day's box using the G value. And I'm going to do it properly with the first candle. The low of the first candle here gives me a figure of 2620.83. So remember I said we need the low and then we stack up. So the low is 2620.83. So 2620.83. I keep that here just on the calculator so I don't forget. I get myself a little box and I just do this. And now I need to add the value to create an accurate box. So the low, I need the box to start from the low. So remember, we can't see these candles yet. So this is the first candle that closed, and the low we got on the calculator at 2620.83. So on this box here, rectangle properties, I go to parameters, and you see these two values. The lowest part of the box, I'll put that value of the calculator that we saw. Oops, sorry, where's my chat one? Sorry, guys. Okay, so now I put this value here, but I'll add the decimal point in when I put it in here. So what was it? 2620.83. 2620.83. And now I need the top value of the box. How do we work out the top value? And this is where this G value comes into play from the previous day. So I've got the low of the candle, and now I have to add the G value. You always add the G value on the G boxes for bullish. So just go back to your notes, and where you've written down bullish box, underneath the bullish box notes, I want you to write down, to draw current day's box, to draw current day's bullish box plus previous day's G value. So I want you to write down again, to draw current day's G bullish boxes. So I repeat, to draw current day's bullish boxes plus previous day's G value. So I repeat again, to draw current day's bullish boxes plus previous day's G value. And I'll repeat one last time, to draw current day's bullish boxes plus previous day's G value. Did everyone get that? I want you to now put the same information on the bearish box, but you just change it to minus. So under the bearish box notes, write down, to draw current day's bearish boxes minus previous day's G value. So I repeat, to draw current day's bearish boxes minus the previous day's G value. And I'll repeat one last time, to draw current day's bearish boxes minus the previous day's G value. Did everyone get that? Excellent. Well done. Okay. So now, so we've got the low value here of the box. And remember what I said, we need to plus the G value. So here's the low value of the first candle of the lower part of the box. I now plus the G value 2263, and I get a value of 2643.46, which I'll enter here. 2643.46. 2643.46, press OK, and I get the perfect size box. Okay, perfect size box. Usually I draw 3 boxes up. Just in case the price keeps going up, I draw more boxes up. But here obviously the price didn't go up, so there's no need. But just imagine it did. We don't know if it was going to continue to go up. So what we would do is we'd continue to draw the boxes. And I'll just show you how and what I mean by that. So before we draw more boxes, what we need to do is what we call a half line. Half line is a line between the top and the bottom. So now what we need to do is add these two together. So let's get the two values, rectangle properties. So these two together, 2620.83, so no decimal point when we use the calculator, plus 2643.46 gives me this. Now I divide by 2 and it will give me the half line figure. 2632.14. You can round it up because there's a 5 there. So 2632.15. So what we do now is we get a line like this and just place it anywhere half like that. And I use a dashed line. The reason why I use a dashed line is that way when I discuss with traders, we know the difference between the half and full, because when you turn around and say to me, Mr. Gold, I can see a cross and lock on the middle line. If the middle line is exactly solid like this, I don't know what you're talking about. But if it's a dashed line, then I know, okay, that's the middle line he's talking about. So that's why middle line, I always use a dashed line like this. And now I go rectangle properties, trend line properties, parameters, and this value here, I put the half line. Because it's one line, you put it on both box. So 2632.15. 2632.15. I do the same on the top because it's one line. 2632.15. Press OK. And I have my perfectly drawn half line. Okay. And remember we said we stack up. Now, because you can see the candles already, we don't need to stack up, but you don't know that the price was going to go down. It could have continued to go up. So we usually draw a few boxes above. And how we do that is now we get another box, place it anywhere on top like this. And now we need the low value of this box, which is, if we want to place it above this box, we need the high value of this box. So if we get the high value of this box, which is here, 264346, I copy that. And now I put it on the low value of this box. So it can sit immediately above that box, which is here. And now I need the G value to make it the same size box. So I've got this figure here, which is 264346 plus the G value 2263 gives me the top value 266609. 2666.09. Press OK. And now it sits immediately above it. And now I need the half line again. So I'll get the top and the bottom value of this box. So 264346 plus 266609 equals this, divide by 2, gives me the half line value, 265477.5, so I'll round it up, 78. 265478. So I'll get a half line, place it anywhere in the middle like this, and trend line properties, and what was the value? 265478. 2654.78, and I'll do the top again. 2654.78, press OK. And I've got myself another box. Now, this is the interesting thing now. For 1 hour, this box is valid. And then the box becomes invalid the following hour because we get a new low and we have to readjust the box. But for the first hour that it's valid, straight away when this candle closes, it's now closed above this line of the box. And when it closed above this line of the box, it's also left a gap to the next available line, which is this half line. This is a valid body close signal. If we enter on the following candle, goes up and goes and hits it. Done. No further body close above this line, only wick, confirming the rejection and no further gap, we see the movement down. Okay. Now, the following hour, the high low has changed. So we have to adjust the box again. So I'll get the new low. So I hover here, and it is 2617.39. So 2617.39. And I'll get the G value, 2617.39 plus the G value, 2263 equals 2640.02. 2640.02. Press OK. And I've got it to a new low. And same for the half line. I need to add those two values together. 2617.39 plus 2640.02 equal divide by 2, and I get 2682, 2628.71. 2628.71. So 2628.71. I'll do the same on the top. It's okay, and my box is adjusted. And I'll do the same with this now. So I need the low top of this value first, which is this here. And I'm going to place that on the bottom of this box. And I'll add the G value, 2640.02 plus G value 2263 gives me 2662.65. 2662.65, press OK. I've got my box nicely adjusted, and now I need the half line. So I'll add these two values together. 2640.02 plus 2662.65 equals this, divide by 2, and I've got 2651.34. 2651.34. 2651.34. I'll put that on the top as well. And press OK. And I've got my box adjusted. Now, this box is valid for the next few hours until a new low happens. And only when we do it here, we don't need to change anymore. So if we changed it now, we have a gap, body close gap, no EMA 5 lock, but a body close gap here. And now you can see, and this is why you see sometimes our manual targets that once it reverses, we milk it until it hits TP in the next couple of days. So if you look at this now, it reverses. Reverses. Let's see if it goes and hits target. It doesn't. So now let's see for the calibration. So here's the candle body close. Here's the TP. Enter on the following candle. Reverses. We get 150 pip SL right here. Enter for the calibrated layer right here. Reverses again, fails. Still within our 150 pip. Goes back up, and 50 pips given. Remember, and this is the beauty about the G boxes. Just like the range breaker and the G lock is calibrated, every signal on the G boxes are calibrated for the 150 pip bounce. And there's a bonus within it as well. Those of you who do not want to wait just for the 150 pip calibrated bounce and you want to milk and make money even before that, we will show you on Wednesday how you can use the G box levels from the opposite direction to milk as well. So I'm not going to do that now. It's going to confuse you because that is part of Wednesday's lesson. But today's lesson, we will cover the simplicity of the bounce with 150 pips. Sorry guys, my phone's completely going bonkers, bear with me. So we will show you how to do the milking on Wednesday. Right now, the milking is not needed. Sorry, guys, this is unbelievable. This is why I keep telling everyone not to message while I'm trying to. Okay, so Wednesday's class is when we show you the milking. So don't worry about that now. We will, as we progress, we'll enhance. Right now, as a minimum, you just need to look at the basic setup of the signal and the 150 pip SL calibrated mounts. Every signal generated by the boxes are calibrated for 150 pip bounce. Okay, so just like the range breaker, these are also calibrated. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust this box to the new low, and then from here, no more adjustment needed. Okay, so let's get this new low, 2608.16. 2608.16. 2608.16 plus so what was the value? 2608.16. So 2608.16. So which is going to be here. 2608.16 plus the G value, 2263, gives me 2630.79. 2630.79, press OK. And now I need the half line value, so I add these two together. 2608.16 plus 2630.79 79 is 5238.95, and divide that by 2. So 2619.48. 2619.48. 2619.48. Do that on the top. And I've got my box. And you see how I need to cover the candles? So 2 boxes was important. So let's get the high of this box now, which is this value here, and make that the low of this box so it connects up. And now add the G value. 2630.79 plus 2263 gives me 2653.42. 2653.42, press OK. And I need the high value, so I'll add these 2 boxes together. Somebody's left the channel. Okay, he's joined back again. Okay. So now we add these 2 values together. 2630.79 plus 2653.42 equals this. Divide by 2 to get the half line value. 2642.11. 2642.11. 2642.11. That's okay. And now boxes are set. Done. Okay. From here onwards, no more adjustments needed because there's no further lows. So our box is final. No adjust. Sometimes, guys, you're so lucky. You draw the box once, like on this day, you notice you draw the box once and you don't need to draw anymore because there's no new low. So you just keep the boxes. And some days you have to adjust like here. Okay. No biggie, that's fine. Yeah. Now, this day, no further signals, no further activations, so nothing needs to be done. Now the new day starts, so we need to draw boxes on this day. But remember I said that you may be busy and you can't get a chance to draw this day's boxes. You could use the previous day's boxes on this day, remember? Which was option 2 on your notes. So how do we use this previous day's boxes to this day? You right click, rectangle properties, and you see the date here that says 24th. Change that to 25, press OK, and then move it across. Do the same with the half line. Change the date to 25. It's OK, and it moves it across. And do the same here. 25. Oops. And it's OK. And do the same with the half line. Okay. Now, on this day here, I'd like to take it right to the end. So, because the hour changed, let's just move this to 2 a.m. in the morning. And that will, no, not done it. Let me see if that does it. Okay, let's just leave that. That's fine. Okay. So now, what we normally do is, because we know that we're going to use the previous day's box of the current day, I don't usually change the dates like this. You know, you saw me change the date to 25. Instead, what I do, you know, when I first did the boxes, I would have done them big like this and already moved it across. So that way on the following day, I didn't have to change the date. I'd already have the box already moved across. So just to give you that tip, and we'll do this here. On the next day, I'll show you what I mean. But I just wanted to show you manually, if you only did option 1, option 2, you change the date and it moves it across. Okay. So now on this day, me being lazy and not drawing the current day's box, and I only use the previous day's box, which is option 2, which is not the strongest, but is still valid. Immediately, somebody's left, I'm coming back in, bear with me. Somebody left, I just added them back. So immediately we have a body close above this line and a gap to this next line here. And it goes and hits it. Then we have another body close above this line, gap to the next line, reverses for a bit, goes back up on the following day and hits it. 2 signals activated, 2 signals hit. And that's just with the previous day's box. And really and truly what we should be doing is also having the current day's box, which is the most accurate. So I've shown you an example of 1 day's box, which is the current day's box here, using this G value. So option 1. And now I've also shown you option 2, which is this one here, where it's not the current day's box, it's the previous day's box, moved across. So it's not current box, it's previous day's box with no calculations for the current day. I just moved it across to show you it's still valid and still powerful. So I've shown you option 1, option 2. Now I'm going to show you option 3, which is the correct way of always doing the boxes, having the previous and the current day's boxes combined together. So let's start with the current day's box. Every time to tell the difference between the previous and current day's box, I always use a different color on each day, and I move back to the same color the following day. What I mean by that is, on this day here, you're using the previous day's box, which was the red box, moved across. Now I'm going to use a blue box for the current day. And let's change the color so I know it's a current day's box. And this time round, to save time on the following day, I'm already going to move it across to save me time to this day. And that's how you should be doing it as well. Every time you draw the current day's box, move it across as well at the same time. So the following day, you're already saving time by having the previous day's box moved across before you draw the current day's box on top. Because you always should have previous and current day's box combined together for the strongest setup. And that's why option 3 is the strongest setup. And to save time, we already do this. And that's why, as we progress here, now you'll see the correct way, the final way of doing it. So now, on this day here, I need the low, which is here, the first candle, 2, 6, 12, 24. So I put it here on the low. So what was the value again? I forgot. 2, 6, 12, 24. 2, 6, 12.24. And I put that on the calculator. 2, 6, 12, 24, and plus, and this time is this G value because I'm doing current day's box using previous day's G value. Just like on this day, the current day's box, I used this day's G value, and then I drew the current day's box and I moved it across here. But I didn't draw the current day's box, I just moved it across. But now because I'm drawing the current day's box on this day, I need this G value. So I've put it here, plus 1407, and gives me the correct figure of 2626.31. 2626.31. Press OK. And I get my first box. And now I want the half line as well. So I get these two values and add them together. 2, 6, 12, 24 plus 2, 6, 26, 31 equals this, divide by 2, gives me 2, 6, 19, 28. 2, 6, 19, 28. I move it across, change the color to blue, and make sure it's dashed so I can differentiate between the half line. And now I put the value that I got on the calculator, which was, and what have I done to my calculator? So I messed up. So let's just get the value again. 2, 6, 12, 24 plus 2626.31 equals this, divide by 2. I have half line value 2619.28. 2619.28. And on the top as well, 2619.28. And I change the color to blue and press OK. And I've got my half line as well. Perfect. And now I need to also stack up, even though I can't see any candles above it, but I wasn't to know that. So potentially if the price went up, I would not know that. So I always do extra boxes on top anyway. So I would get myself another box, move it across, place that, get the high value of this box, and make it the low value of this box. Paste, and now add the G value, 2626.31 plus the G value 1407 gives me 2640.38. 2640.38, press OK. Nicely placed box. And then I need a half line. Place it anywhere here like this. And get the box value high and low and add it together. 2626.31 plus 2640.38 equals this. Divide by 2 gives me 2633.35. 2633.35. 2633.35. 2633.35. That's okay. I've got the half line value. And I always click on the right corner, unselect all, so I don't accidentally move the boxes. And now on this day's current day's box, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours, no changes needed. Valid and strong. Only in the last few hours of the evening, the low changes, so I would adjust the box. But for now, no adjustment needed. So now on the current day's box, combined with the previous day's box, immediately we have a body close above this line, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. Now we have a body close above this line, gap to the current day's full line, because it's always the next available line, and goes and hits it. That's done. Now, 2 signals done, and now we get a new low. So we need to adjust it to this new low, and then no more adjustments needed. So the low of this candle is 2610.24. So adjust the box, 2610.24. Calculator, sorry. 2610.24 plus 1407 gives me 2624.31. 2624.31, press OK. Box adjusted nicely. Do the half line as well. 2610.24 plus 2624.31 is, and then divide by 2. 2617.28. 2617.28. 2617.28. 2617.28. It's okay. And now I'll adjust this box to the top of this. So let's get the top of this value first, which is this one here. And then put it on the bottom of this box. And get the G value. So 2624.31 plus 1407 is 2638.38. 2638.38. Press OK. Nicely adjusted. And now I do the half line as well. Add these two together. 2624.31 plus 2638.38 equals this, divided by 2, and it gives me 2631.35. 2631.35. 2631.35. And done. No more adjustments needed. Okay. Now, there is a shortcut way of doing these calculations, but as always, I like to build people up to do the manual way. The shortcut would be is put it in an Excel spreadsheet and add a sum on there with the formula, and then the minute you enter your number, it will add the G value itself, and then you've got the box values. So you can do that later, but as you have seen, I've done it manually in front of you. It's best to do it manually so you learn and you practice. Okay. So now I have the box updated. Let's move these close here so I don't have to keep adjusting the screen size. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, so now on this day here, imagine I've not had time to draw the boxes for the current day using this G value of 713. So if I haven't got the time to draw this G value, draw the current day's box using this G value here, remember I've already moved the previous day's box across, option 2. So I'm already ready. And I'm thinking, let me wait for a few hours before I draw the box, just in case I get a new low, which actually we don't. You can see the price, there's no new low. So if I had drawn the box here, I would not need to change it. It'd be done for the whole day, but I don't know that. And I'm busy, I can't draw boxes. I've already got my previous day's box drawn. And like I said, it's still very strong. So I'm happy to use the previous day's box, option 2. So I'm just showing you the different examples. So straight away, market opens. I have a body close above the half line, leaving a gap to the full line. And I also have EMA 5 cross, lock, the candle on the right, locking candle, entry on the next one, goes and hits it. So candle body close signal or EMA 5 lock makes it a stronger signal because it's 2 signals in one. Candle body close and EMA 5 lock. Goes and hits it. Nicely done. Once again, we have body close, gap to the next half line. We also have EMA 5 cross right in the center of this candle, makes it the locking candle. One after the entry candle, goes and hits it. So again, body close or EMA 5 lock, which makes it a strong signal because it's both together, just like here, and it goes and hits it. And then here, we have a body close, but no gap because it's already filled it. And then perfect rejection because there's no body close above this line. Instead, we see a wick close above it, which is a rejection, and then price goes down, and that's it. Nicely done. Look how the gaps get respected, and this is the beauty about these G boxes. And wait till I show you when I conclude with the bearish boxes, and then we combine it together. You're going to be able to track the movement up, track the movement down, use them to milk. It's just fantastic. It's going to put everything together, and everything that you've learned, once you put the puzzle together, you're going to be a confident trader. Every day when you see the charts, you know what it's doing. The only thing that's going to let you down and you need to work on will be your psychology and your discipline. That's the only thing that you're going to need to work on. Technically, you are going to be skilled enough with all the levels that I'm teaching you and everything that I'm teaching you. Okay, so now let's also draw the current day's box on this day. So we have option 3, and I'll also move it across on this day as well. Okay, so we have the low here, which is 2615.04, but let's get the current day's box, and I'll place it anywhere here, and I'll move it across to save me time the following day like I've been doing. And I'll change the color once again, this time switch back to red. So we always go red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So when you're discussing with me on Sunday, I can very quickly know what you're talking about. Because you may say, Mr. Gold, there's a signal on the previous day's box on the half line. Very quickly, I can tell the previous day's box is the red one or the blue one, and then the half line is the dash line. Whereas if all your boxes are the same color, it's going to take me a bit of time to work out the previous and the current. So I change to red, oops. And that's it, the box done. And now I get this low, which is 2615.04. To 615.04. Oops, my calculator keeps disappearing. To 615.04 plus G value, new one 713. 713 gives me 2622.17. 2622.17. Press OK. And I've got my first box. And I need a half line. This is a very small G value. So can you see the box becomes very small. So this is one of the reasons why sometimes when the box is so small, you have the flexibility to not use it and only use the bigger boxes. But choice is yours. But let's see anyway. Let's get the half line now. I'm just going to bring the half line from here to save a bit of time. And I'll just place it here. Let's just get the calculation. And let's get the top and the bottom. 2615.04 plus 2622.17 divided by 2. 2618.61. 2618.61. Half line done. And I'm just gonna stack them up, and there's a quick way of doing this now. So it's the third box I'm going to show you. If I hit Control and the left mouse at the same time, so first I hit Control and then the left mouse, now it copies the box with the same G value, so it doesn't adjust, so it's accurate. And then I'll just place it immediately on top here. And if I double click the box, I'll get a dot on the half line. And now I can do the same copy of the half line. Control, left mouse, move across, and then I get a half line. And then I'm going to cover the candles. So this time pre-box needed. And here we go. And I'll also do the half line. Control, mouse button on the left, and here we go. Nice quick way of doing it. And now on this day, we have the previous and the current day's boxes together to use. Let's see if there's any gaps. So becomes more accurate, but that means less signals. So no signals here, no signal here, wick, no body close here. This body completes 2-3 gaps, but then here we have a body close above the half line, gap to the next line, enter on the following candle, and look at that. And this is why I wanted to show you how amazing this market maker formula. Look at this TP, bang on the line. I didn't just make up this box and place it there. I used previous day's data of the G value, 713. This G value was generated with the high and low formula here, and that's why it's called a market maker's formula. And then it goes and respects it like this. I thought this market was based around human volume of buying and selling liquidity. So if it's that, how can this formula hit a target on the nose like this? Quite amazing, right? So body close, enter, goes and hits it. Done. And then no further body close for a few hours. And then now again, body close above this half line, full line. Target is the next half line. And goes and hits it. And then look how amazing this is. No further body close. Just a wick rejection. Price comes down. No further gaps. Now, a question that people ask, what if a gap reactivates? Is it valid? Yes, it's still valid, but not as strong as the first time round, but still valid. This time round, we have a body close again above this line. Half line. Gap to the next half line, the red one. Goes and hits it. Now we have a body close above this line. Gap to the next line. Following day, goes and hits it. And now on this day, imagine I've not drawn the new boxes yet. And I just used the previous day's box like I am now. I'm using the previous day's box. Immediately when the market opens, let's see if there's a gap, no gap. But then, a few hours later, we have a body close above the half line, leaving a gap to the full line, and goes and hits it. No further body close, therefore no continuation. We get a wick rejection, price comes down. Nicely done. Just beautiful. Now, I can draw box here, and then we'll have to adjust it on this day several times. You can see adjustment, 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 adjustment. And let's do it. We've got 10 minutes, let's do it. Let's get a box. I'm going to save myself time and move it across to help me on this day. Change the color to blue, because now I can use the shortcut that I've shown you. And let's do it on the first candle first, which is 2629.74. 2629.74. Get my calculator. 2629. Oops. 2629.74 plus the G value, this one. Because we're drawing, sorry, if it's this one, we're using this day's G value. 1353 plus 1353 gives me 2643.27. 2643.27. Press OK. And I've got my first box, and I'll copy a half line to save time, like I taught you guys. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Oops. Let's cover the day. Okay. And no more boxes needed to be drawn here. Immediately, no body close, body close, body close, and then we get a new low here, just here. So I would adjust my box. So let's adjust the box to the new low, which is just here, because we can't see these candles yet. So that would have been the new low. And let's get the half line. And then we would notice a body close above this line. Gap to the next line, goes and hits it. And then after hitting it, for several hours, no further changes. Sorry, for 5 hours, no further changes. And then we get a new low on this candle here. The minute we get a new low, oops, I adjust my box. Adjust my box. Oops, what have I done? Oops, messed this one up. Sorry guys, let me just delete this box and get my correct calculation. Here we go. Unselect all, and that's it. So now, get my half line, place it here, and nothing happening, and then I get a new low again. So if I get a new low again, I need to adjust the box here, and then after adjusting the box here to the new low, I see a candle body close above this half line, gap to the next line, and the following hour it goes and hits it. Beautiful. And then 2 hours later, I get a new low. So you see, somebody who hasn't got the time, they've only got one signal. And somebody who may have a day off from the current job and today they decide to stay on the chart and they update the level by every new low, look, they're getting more signals. And now they got a new low again. So if they got a new low, they need to update. So let's update again to this new low and new low. Okay, no signal. And then they need to update again to the new low. And after that, no more adjustments needed because there's no new low. And now I move the box up and up. And here we go. And now After that, no more new lows needed. And then we notice we have a body close above this line, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. Beautiful. And now, when the market opens, this previous day's box from here, I've already moved across, and I have not drawn the current day's box. Now, I want to show you something very interesting. So I'm going to show you something really interesting, guys. So now, imagine on this day I'm being lazy and I haven't got time to draw the current day's box. So I'm using the previous day's box moved across. Now, when I use the previous day's boxes moved across, because I can't change them anymore, because previous day's boxes are fixed based on this low. Remember, this is the low, there's no new lows. So if there's no new lows, you cannot change this and it's fixed. So it's absolutely fine to use for half a day. But after half a day, price has broken out of this previous day's box. And I don't want to draw option free. I don't want to draw current day's box. What do I do here? This is the only time where you can adjust the previous day's bullish boxes and move it down immediately underneath the box. Even for option free, when you draw the boxes from here, you still need the previous day's box. And if the previous box is up there because there was no new low, you again can stack it down. And what do I mean stack it down? So bullish boxes, you always stack up, as you have seen. But only when the price goes down and you have no more bullish boxes to add on the previous day, because the previous day there is no low, that's the only time where you get the previous day's box, like I'm doing right now, and you stack it down like this. And same with the half line. And again. And again. So this is the only time where you stack a bullish box down. Because this day's bullish box, the previous day's box that we moved across, the low of the previous day was here. So we stacked the bullish boxes up from the low. But we didn't realize the following day the price was going to go further down. And because we're using the previous day's box, we cannot put it on this low down, because we can only put the current day's bullish box when we draw them from this low. We can't adjust the previous days because the low is already here. That's the only time you keep the measurements the same and you immediately stack it down like I have done now. And now you can use these previous days box on this day without even adding the current day's box, but I'm going to add it shortly. But before I add it, let's just use the previous day's box and see what we can notice. Immediately we have a body close above this line, leaving a gap to this next line. Reverses on entry, reverse, 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 150 pips stop loss, bang on here. Enter for the calibration 50 pips, it gives it and more. And then after giving it, we have a body close above this line, gap to the next line. Enter, reverses, reverses, 150 pips stop loss just here. Enter, gives me the 50 pips. And then look what happens. It actually goes and hits both the TP, this one and that one. And one thing you notice on all my signals, and you keep wondering, Mr. Gold, even after recovering your signal, it reactivates and goes and hits them. Does it do it all the time? Most of the time it does it, but I don't chance and wait for that. I still take my calibrated bounce and recovery. So look, 2 SLs, both recovered and TP given. And at the same time, I get a new signal above this line, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. So 3 signals, 1 TP, 2 SL also recovered and made done, and TP given. Now, let's actually draw the current day's box. And then, because this is only option 2, previous day's box used, let's draw the current day's box and see if there was any changes on these SLs or anything else. So let's get the current day's box first on this low. So which was 2619.78. 2619.78. Oops. And change the color as well. Red. And what was the low? 2619.78. 2619.78. 2619.78 plus G value 1477. 2634.55. 2634.55. Press OK. Oops, what have I done? Let's do that again. 2619.78. 2619.78 plus the G value gives me 2634.55. 2634.55. Press OK. And I got my first box. And now let's get the half line. Okay. So immediately we have a body close, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. No further body close, no signals, and then price goes down. And we have a new low here. So I would have adjusted the box here. Adjusted the box here. And after adjustments, we have body close here, gap to the next line. That's the SL that we took. Entry, the same one, 150 pips and recovery given. And then now we adjust again to this new low. And then after that, no adjustments needed. So let me stack up. And stack up. And stack up. And stack up. Okay. So from here, we get a body close above this line, gap to the next line, goes and hits it, wick rejection, comes down, wick rejection, goes back up. And on this day, if we haven't drawn the current day's box, we're just using the previous day's box. Candle body close above the line, EMA 5 cross and lock as well. Gap here, goes and hits it. No body close here. This gap gets filled perfectly. Just wick rejections, and that's it. So now, this was your, oops. Let me zoom out. Just beautiful. So this was your 5 days of trading using the bullish boxes. Candle body close or EMA 5 cross and lock. Don't worry guys, tomorrow we're going to do the bearish boxes. I'm going to redo them again and combine them together. As we build it up, we'll fine tune more and reinforce anything that you forget, because I can see it's a lot of information. But just like on level 1, what did I promise you? As the week goes by, I will make sure that everything is understandable. So I do not want you to panic. But just look how amazing this was. We had probably about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 12 signals, 3 SLs, and all 3 SLs recovered, and then 9 signals TP. So all 12 signals gave you your pips with the recovery on the SL, which is a fantastic, fantastic setup. You can literally 100% setup if you conclude with the recovery as well. It's just phenomenal. There's nothing like that in the market. I can assure you of this. So, any questions before we wrap up? Everyone okay? No, Michael. We will not be doing no current days boxes. No current days boxes, guys, until the course is finished, like I did level 1. Once the current day is done, because I do not want you to trade this. This is the first day. No, absolutely nobody should draw current days boxes and start trading. The course has not finished. There's many rules and conditions that I have to do by the end of the week. So you
Yes.
need to know. You're
Sorry.
saying yes or no. Then if you know, then why are you telling me this now?
No, sorry. I'm just, no, the question was different. Let's say I didn't throw them yesterday when they closed, when the market is closed. Can I throw them the next day? That was the question. It was mistreated. That's
What's the question? Sorry, can you repeat yourself
The
again?
question is that last night I went to sleep and I didn't throw the boxes for the next day. Okay, when the market was closed. Can I throw them the next day in the morning when I wake up?
You can draw them whenever you want.
Okay, that was the question. Thank you.
There's absolutely no rules of when you can draw them. You control when you want to draw them. Like I said to you, I'm sleeping during Tokyo session. So if I'm sleeping during Tokyo session, how would I draw them? I can only draw them when I wake up. So when I wake up, then I draw them. Oops, somebody else's question. Bear with me, guys. Let me just scroll up. EMA 5 and candle close together. No, both of them are separate. You can either have just the candle body close signal, or you can have EMA 5 cross and lock. Both of them are separate. So it gives you more flexibility. Don't worry, we're going to be still finishing the course tomorrow, the day after, so you've got plenty of time, because I still need to show you the bearish boxes. I also need to change and add some conditions, which we'll add as we go on, because we need to make sure that we do it in step-by-step format. Otherwise, if I offload all the conditions today, it's going to confuse you guys. So I need to build it up slowly. Can they contradict? Meaning, if EMA 5 close and lock above a line, and the candle does not let a gap to the next line, there is no signal, isn't it? There is no lock if there's no gap. Every time EMA 5 locks, just like you learn on the gold turns and range breaker and G lock, you need to have a gap. If there's no gap, then there is no lock. Because what are you locking into? What's the point of locking into a line if there's no gap? You need a gap, you need a TP. Please just quickly say the condition of the buy signal, especially for the first candle close of the day. So first candle close of the day is an example here. This first candle is immediately sitting above this line and therefore leaving a gap to the next line. And then it goes and hits it. Okay. And then if you do midway through some days, let's look here. Here's body close above the line, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. We also have EMA 5 cross. Bear with me, let me zoom in. Oops, you can't zoom. Here we go. So here's a body close. Sorry, here's a body close, gap to the next line, goes and hits it the following day. We also have EMA 5 cross between two candles, locking candle, gap to the next line, goes and hits it. Same here, EMA 5 crosses left side of this candle. This is the locking candle, leaves the gap to the next line, goes and hits it. Okay. Can we trade sell using bullish boxes? No. I've already given you the notes. Your notes already tell you we are going to draw the bearish boxes tomorrow. Do not be taking sells using bullish boxes. There's a reason why we do bearish boxes. Bearish boxes are for sells, bullish boxes are for buys. And then I will show you how to reverse them for milking. There's lots of conditions coming up the rest of the week. Don't jump the gun at the moment, because we need to follow stages. Only ask questions relevant to what I taught you today. Today I'm teaching you bullish buys. Let's keep the questions for the bullish buys. We can do the sells when we do the sell signals. Did I miss any other questions? Yes. Any other questions? Do we use lock and gaps in boxes of the same color, or can both, any of the colors? whichever one is the next available one. That's why I say to you, option 3 may give you less signals, but they're more accurate. But you have to do always the next available. You can't do this. You can't do, let's show you an example here. You can't do body close above this blue line and gap to this blue half line. No, it has to be the next available one. So this is body close above the blue line, but there's no gap because this half line has closed the gap. But now the half line, we have a body close, gap to the next full line, goes and hits it. Here we have a body close on the red line, but gap to the half line of the blue line, goes and hits it. So the gap is always to the next available line, regardless of whether it's previous, current, blue or red. Make sense? So now, don't worry, guys, because you're going to overcomplicate, and I don't want you guys to panic. There's a lot of information here. So just relax, take a deep breath for the rest of the day. Tomorrow, before we jump onto the bearish boxes, remember what I always do. I'm going to redo the bullish refresher before we jump onto the bearish. And every day we're going to refresh the previous day before we do the new session. So you keep getting that refresher. And then I assure you, I've done this so many times, by the end of the course, you're going to be fully understanding the boxes and how to draw them. So the key is don't overcomplicate it. If you overcomplicate it, you're thinking it's going to confuse you. So already, I just want you to relax, take the information that I've given you. And those notes that I make you write down, they are the best thing that you've done, because you'll see when the course is over, when you read through those notes, it's going to trigger your memory. So don't worry about the notes now. Don't look at the notes now. You're going to look at those notes after Wednesday, and it'll show you how it triggers. Okay? So trust me, I'm excited. Trust me, I'm excited for you guys, because level 1 just gave you the foundation and the basics. This is going to complete the puzzle for you. It's literally going to complete the puzzle for you to trade Tokyo, London, New York, when Mr. Gold is sleeping. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, you're going to be able to trade it. And when you now have the VIP channel and Mr. Gold is also posting his analysis and signal, and you have level 1 and 2, it's untouchable. If you're still making losses, it's because of your psychology and discipline. So that's why I say to you guys, this week, you should not trade your money. This week, you should not use your resources, because you are about to get a very powerful tool. Why are you going to trade and use your resources when you're about to be loaded up with new set of tools? Wait for the course to be over. Take these new set of rules and conditions, and then tie your head up and start your trading journey properly, knowing that you have these additional tools now. Be patient. Don't rush the process. If you want to be successful, you need to be patient, not rush the process, and make this a long-term thing. And as I said to all my level 1 and 2 members, those of you who respect my knowledge, use the knowledge and perform well, and you can show me a 6-month track record, I will allow you to be put on the waiting list for Eagle Eye. There's only a waiting list for Eagle Eye, which is for long-term signals, which is my final syllabus, and this is not one that anyone can join. It doesn't matter how much you pay me, you're not getting in. It has to be invite only. And as a minimum, I require level 1 and 2 members to have a 6-month profitable track record. Then you'll come onto the Eagle Eye waiting list. And I've offered people jobs as well who can show me those kind of performance. So I really want you guys to perform well. I'm confused about the value of the top line of the bullish box. The top line is created by the G value. So if you have this as the low value, so we draw a box like this, move it across, get the low value, which is 2608.16. So I'll go 2608.16 here, 2608.16. and then I'll get a calculator and I'll type in 260816. And then remember, it's on your notes, plus the G value, 2263. And now I get the top value, 2630.79. I'll do 2630.79. Press OK, and it immediately draws the box. Understand, Mark? Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm overflowing now. We will continue back in again tomorrow. So don't worry. We'll do a refresher again. If you overdo it, you're going to forget. Okay, so I don't want you to forget. So just remember, like I said, take a deep breath. Lots of knowledge given to you today. Just take a deep breath and carry on with your rest of your day. If you start panicking, oh, I don't remember this. Oh, shit, what did Mr. Gold say? It's a waste of your time because you know what Mr. Gold is like. He has OCD. He's going to make sure you understand everything tomorrow. So that's why I want you to relax. Anything you forget, don't panic. I'm not going to stop until I get the information through to your heads. So you need to make sure you understand that. Okay? And that's it, everyone. Well done. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow.